Hello everyone, Mege here. As you can maybe tell from my big smile, extremely happy and hyped for the first trailer we got of Dragon's Dogma 2 last night. And I'm just gonna jump into it, see if I can spot anything. I've already seen quite a lot of stuff from my many watches already. I've watched this like 10 times already. I'm gonna go through it and see if we can spot anything as someone who's played the original a lot of times. So right away, we start with another, let's say poem, French poem, just like the first game. This first game starts the same. Now, I can't speak French, and I'm not gonna attempt to say this in French, but from my research, which means simply Googling this, this is a little something that Honoré de Balzac wrote, and it translates roughly to "conviction is the human will attained to its greatest power." Then it actually continues, this is just a little part of it, and it would go into simultaneously effect and cause, it impresses the coldest souls. It is a sort of mute eloquence which grips the masses. I clearly think we do not have enough information to even try and guess what this might mean. I'm gonna say maybe the will part of it, you know, the man's willpower, human will play a part somehow in the story, but again, it's way too early to tell. But something else we can see right here is as this griffin, this is a griffin, it's been ridden by two figures here, maybe an arisen and his spawn, maybe. So this is interesting. Is this gonna be fast travel? Is this just the intro of the game? I don't know, but it is quite interesting nonetheless. We then go into this part right away, reminding us of the kart ride from the first game, of course. And this trailer will have a lot of little callbacks like this. It almost feels like a retelling of the first game in many, many ways. We also see right here what appears to be an harpy. And these figures have no emblems on their shield at the moment, it seems. We zoom out with this amazing view, which would sort of lead you to believe, seeing Blue Moon Tower right here, that maybe this is Grancis again, but actually it couldn't be, because if this is Blue Moon Tower, assuming this is the same Blue Moon Tower as the first game, assuming so, might not be. The sea is to the north of Blue Moon Tower in the original game, meaning we are past that, and Grancis would be, where the original game takes place, would be on the opposite side of these mountains. And adding to that, a lot of this is unfamiliar, like these red looking cliffs, and this city is not Grand Soren. This bridge here, it's somehow reminiscent of it, because there is, you know, just like the first game, outside of it there is some broken walls, but this part might kind of look like the part where you fight the cockatrice in the original game. It is reminiscent of it, but I think they're sort of playing with us. I've turned subtitles on to help me here. Ulrika, I assume this character, goes, "You do not remember? What? Have you forgotten that you protected me?" is what she says. Now, what could this mean? Is our character experiencing memory loss? Does someone here have knowledge of the cycle? Again, way too early to tell.
Have you forgotten?
Now, this knight right here, we can see the emblem on his shield. Assuming this is a knight from the capital or from the city, this is not Grand Soren's emblem. Grand Soren's emblem is somehow like this. Let me take it for you. This is Grand Soren's emblem. Now, it is somewhat similar. The idea of it is this sword going down, a cross behind it, white and blue, and a dragon sort of intertwining on the sword. As you can see, the idea is there, the dragon, the cross, the blue and white, but it's not the same. Now, could be just artistic difference, might as well be, or this could mean we are somewhat in a different part of the cycle, somewhat similar but not the same. Maybe some things change, we'll see. Protected me from the dragon's flames. We can't tell what this is about yet, but we see here, if I take out the subtitles, that the dragon, just like the first game, is taking the heart of someone lying on the floor. Maybe our character from the first game. Again, can't quite tell. if this is, I don't think this is Casadre's beach at all. But again, very reminiscent of the first game here. Right next, we see what appears to be the first spawn, maybe like Rook in the first game, you know, showing the same mark they have on their hands. And we see here, we'll see this more times in the trailer, Biskin, seems like this sort of feline humanoid, which I assume we'll be able to play as. And this is something which was scrapped for the first game. The first game has a lot of, in case you don't know, things that were cut due to development issues, time, you know, not enough fundings. I think what Itsuno here is doing is remaking the first game in his vision, in a way. This is what it feels like so far, and I'm all for it, by the way. I assume more things that were cut will be in. Again, we see another one right here. Seems to be maybe a playable character right here. Oh, and by the way, that looks like this is the encampment. See, this is the tent where Mercedes would be, maybe. This is, looks like the encampment. Again, really, really reminiscent of the first game. Then we have this figure talking, the Pathfinder, which I assume is this hooded figure right here. Did only believe in your own destiny, as he watches by the sea, this griffin flying away. I can't tell right here if this griffin had someone on his back. I don't think so. This is the figure we're talking about, this Pathfinder, I think. I don't know, maybe kind of reminding me of the Elysian guy, you know, the Salvation cult leader. He's sort of glowing like this, maybe he's a spirit of sorts. I don't think we have anything like this in the first game of this, with this color. We have spirits somehow, like in Bitter Black Isle, when you walk through and there is little apparitions. This doesn't remind me of that. Then we get some gameplay. They know what we want. They showed us some gameplay right away. And the first thing we see is a fighter, of course, using, I believe this is called Blink Strike. I'm not gonna get into the graphics. I'm in love with everything about this, by the way. Actually, I'm gonna get into some of it. Blink Strike on some goblins. Goblins looking updated, but largely the same. You know, their weapons, they probably still fear fire. And little spikes on their head. Kind of the same. We see a pawn here, Ranger, Strider, probably Strider pawn. Then here we see, oh yeah, my boy, two-handed big sword. And one thing I loved about Dragon's Dogma, which I love to see still present, is the weight behind each slash. Look at this. I love that. That's probably just a combo, by the way, an X combo, simple light attack combo. Then we have this new character, I assume again, this dark-haired lady, Wilhelmina. Of course, that begs the question. She says, I'll get into this right away. A reason B. So she says, if he is a mere mummer meaning like actor, then where is our true reason? So probably, I don't know if she's referring to the player character, I don't think so. She's probably referring to the Duke. Because just like the first game, by the way, this is obviously gonna contain spoilers for the first game. The Duke is sort of a fake out, right? And we'll see this later into the trailer. Seems like she's having doubt about the legitimacy of the reason she knows and wondering where the true reason be. I don't know what this could mean like in details. Obviously, we don't have enough information here, but I feel like this is probably gonna play again somehow like the first game. And we see a golem looking beautiful, of course, using its eye laser, let's say, actually mouth laser. Here we see some new spell. We see a cacti zone. This was not present at all. This biome wasn't at all in the first game. This is probably the same reddish rock we saw in the distance on the opening shot. And this mage, I believe, doesn't quite look too much like a mage. Like, is this? I believe this is a stuff like this in the first game. I'll look it up in a second. Looks like it's a bladed stuff, though. Like, there's one blade here, one blade here. Maybe this is a new class? Using some sort of kinetic attack seems to slam some of the goblins into other goblins. See? And then we go to the magic archer, of course, just shooting magic arrows at what appears to be a taurin, let's say, kind of minotaur-like enemy. We can't, again, quite tell. Seems to have a weapon, horns, cow, bull-like face, probably hooves from this I can see. So it looks like it's some kind of, you know, eliminator nearing enemy. Another character tolling, this Menela, I assume is this Biskin here. Empress Nadinia's life is in your hands, Sarah Risen. Again, we don't know who any of these characters are. Maybe this is Empress Nadinia instead of Menela. Maybe this will play like a role close to... She will play a role like Eleanor in the first game. We can't tell. But there is a lot of similarities again. Brand, this dark armored character, goes, "Praise be. Only the Sovereign's guidance can lead us through. Long live the Sovereign of Vermund." The Sovereign, I assume, is the Duke of this game. Again, Vermund, so probably not Grancis here. I don't think Vermund was mentioned at all in the older game. It actually says Vermont, but yeah, I think this is where we'll play. Instead of Grancis, Vermont. I don't know if this is going to be a character like Julian. Again, there's a lot of parallels here. But what we see here is we are probably inside some cathedral-like space. We can see, you know, stained glass in the background. We then see some more gameplay. The knight, the pitch black knight we all know and love, with goblins with their eyes glowing. We see this is a mage. We can't quite tell what is he using here. A light-like spell, which I don't think is present at all in the first game. Maybe in Dragon's Dogma Online. Seems to sort of scorch these goblins or stun them. And then this is a new class, it seems, or at least a new weapon. Wielding some sort of sensor and seems to be a spellcaster, creating a bridge out of nothing. We kind of see he's creating like a rock platform to maybe get to this enemy right here. This kind of surprised me because I assume this class has a focus, if something like this is possible, on maybe exploration. But what if you don't have a figure like this in your party then? I don't know, I'm really intrigued. And then of course they had to show us Bolide. Like the meteor coming down on these poor unknowing goblins. Beautiful. We see a shot of the town plaza. As you can see here, the banners are different. Again, this is not Grancis. This is also different, by the way, from the banner we saw on the shield at the beginning. So maybe that banner at the beginning is from actually Grancis and it's just redesigned. Anyway, in the plaza we see the Duke, I assume, on a statue, just beheading. I really like the design, by the way, this dragon right here. And where blood would come out is actually where water comes out of the statue. We see the interior of a tavern, maybe the Pawn Guild. I don't know, we can't really see any hands here. More shots of... I don't think this is the city, I think this is the Great Wall equivalent right here. And of course, we have our big boy. I don't know if this is Grigori, I don't think he is. It's a dragon, he has the same voice actor, amazing. When I heard the voice, I was like, yeah, that's what I needed. He looks amazing in HD. And we see, yeah, the big dragon, which I think this again plays into a parallel from the beginning section of the game, where you play as Savan, you know, and go to face the dragon. The lightning, at least, it's really evoking that feeling. A griffin being grappled, let's say, being climbed by, I assume, a strider here. It's way too fast to tell, but I think this is a strider just hacking away with two knives. There it is, at the griffin. I love this. I love that this pawn here is using, I think, shieldboard to launch, to yeet this strider again, or assassin, I can't tell, on this ogre's face. Again, redesigned, looking absolutely fabulous. This part sort of reminding me of the quarry, maybe. This one will just latch onto the ogre's face, while this character in the forefront is delivering a slow and weighty looking slash with his greatsword. Look at this. I absolutely love that. I love that so much. So good. We see another Cyclops. This one is wielding a mace, a weapon, and what I assume to be a mage or a sorcerer, casting some sort of fire spell on him. But what's more interesting here is that they took the time to show us that the environment, or at least bridges and the likes, can be manipulated in some way. Where we see this bridge just fall as the Cyclops stomps around on, I believe, our poor pawn right here. The little bit right here made me actually hope this was a multiplayer part, but it's not. No, this is just probably gonna reason is any spawn after defeating a Cyclops in the background, just having some sort of emote moment. And this is great, by the way. I love this. I absolutely love this. I am not, by the way, commenting on a lot of the, like, for example, this scarf. It's something that was in the first game as well. A lot of the equipment is looking like the first game. I believe this Arisen here, delivering the two-handed slash, is wielding a Caster's Flamberge. Actually no, this is another weapon, I can't remember the name, but I think this was in the first game as well. But yeah, some sort of emote. Then we go into a Riftstone, seemingly being activated here. Again, same design as the old game. And some new enemies. We see a Medusa-like enemy here, followed by an Harpy-like enemy. I love this smile here. It's so creepy. I love it. And this is actually an enemy which was probably is coming from like Dragon's Dogma Online. Sorry, I said Harpy, I meant Sphinx. And this is the enemy in Dragon's Dogma Online. This Sphinx-like creature. I think that's what we are seeing here. Of course, redesigned. I love the design. Then we see, of course, a Griffin repelling, I believe, arrows being shot from out of the out of the screen. And here is our boy. Look how beautiful it looks in HD. And he's eating the heart out of the, I believe, the protagonist maybe, or someone else. That is most unfortunate, he says. Does not release thee from thy fate. So what is the fate the dragon is talking about? Probably to slay him eventually. Why are we unfortunate? I don't know. Something seemed to have happened here, but we still have to face the dragon. We see a throne hall. We see this character here, which I assume is the Duke, with 3 pawns, a warrior, mage, and a strider, I believe. Again, the stained glass leading me to believe this is the same scene where the black armored knight is gonna give his speech. And this Duke-like character looking really shady here, has something around his heart, some sort of crystal. We see a sort of meek figure in the shadows here. Again, this one is reminding me of Eleanor as well. Some noble-like figure, I think. And our big boy just breathing fire on us. And then we end on a title screen. Just amazing. Okay, it is a short trailer, but as a first trailer, I am extremely happy with what I've seen. I think they are trying to mislead us. This looks really similar in many ways to the first game. Again, there's a lot of parallels. And I think they'll play with us, just like the first game sort of turns on you when you defeat the dragon. I think this will be sort of the same, but we need to see more trailers. I hope we'll see more trailers, like probably a Tokyo Game Show. I am extremely hyped. Let me know if you think I missed anything from this little rewatch I've done just now. If there's any details I might have skipped. I'll see you next time, and I can't wait for this game. So share your hype, because I'm hyped as hell.